Hello arty peeps, hope you're all well and enjoyed the snow if you had any at the weekend, which was very good. Here's a snowy sheep, and this is just a Christmas card that I'm going to use as an example to squaring up. Today we are going to continue with the theme of metamorphosis, but we're going to collage, and we're going to cut something up and stick it back together again in a different order to change it. Okay, so I am going to square this one up 4 centimetre squares. You can do something bigger or smaller if you so wish, but 4 centimetres is quite a nice size. So be as accurate as you can. I would do the back, choose a picture. It can be an old artwork. It could be a picture out of a magazine or a newspaper. It really doesn't matter, but just take your time and try to get those squares fairly accurate. Okay, so 12, there we go. So square it up like so. I'll actually use this later to stick my work onto, but oh, my ruler is so dirty. Look at the marks it's leaving. I really must give it to clean. Oh my goodness, I think it's oil pastel. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so what I would like you to do then is cut out or trim. If you've got a metal rule and a craft knife, then you could use that. Trim them out, including if you've got any that aren't quite a full square, you may well need those. Okay, so trim them all out, and then you will end up with an array of squares. Okay, the good thing about drawing the squares on the back is that you don't end up with pen on your thing. Turn them all over, start to sort them all out into areas, ones that aren't quite the full square, and if you've got some that are really tiny like that one, if you've got ones that have got a white edge on them, then they can all go together. If you've got one that's mostly blue, then they can go together like so. Okay, so what I would like you to do is I would like you to start to rearrange your image. These are, oh, they're quite nice actually. I had a little accident when I was trimming them out, and these ones aren't quite a full square, but it might not matter. So what I'd like you to do is to start to rearrange them. Maybe turn them upside down, but what you want is you want the squares to be very different. So here I've got the white line at the top. First of all, I'm going to try and get 4 together that look nice. Oh look, that is actually the one that goes there. So what we'll do is we'll put that side. Okay, so that's interesting because what I've got here is a white line at the top and a white line at the bottom. Okay, and then on this one, this is a very different shape. I'm going to pop that there, and I want this one to be very different again, so maybe that one. Okay, so I'm going to look at those together and I'm going to ask myself what I think about that. I quite like the fact that this has got a bluier, the blue's a little bit different, so what I'm actually going to do is find one that's got a similar blue, and I'm going to interchange those two pieces. Now what you can do at this point, I've got a little fuzzy bit there, is have a look at the direction of the mark. So here I've got a branch that's come in here, and then that could almost continue there. Have I got a square where I can put something on that sort of continues that flow of movement? So I could actually use that one. So let's put that there. Okay, so what happens if I turn that one upside down? How does that look? Not too keen. What happens if I change that for that one? Oh, I quite like that. So this sort of, this shape here, it could almost carry on. So there's my central 4, or my first 4. It doesn't have to be in the centre. Now it can be a little bit irritating because they sort of squidge all over the place. So at this point you might want to actually stick those first ones down. So I'm going to use the card that I squared up. You don't have to put it on a squared piece of card, just put it on a blank piece of paper or even directly into your sketchbook. It's just that I've got this, so I may as well use it. Am I actually gluing in the... I'm not gluing in the thing, am I? There you go. Okay, so I would probably use PVA. I know I'm using Prit at the moment, but PVA is a little bit stronger. Okay, right, so now you need to decide how many squares you're going to do, and am I going to put the next ones on going all around, or is that your top left hand corner? Are you going to carry on there? What I think I might do is I may as well just go around, being as that's what the shape is. So then you can start maybe thinking about one particular side. What can you add to it? Which squares can you take and put on? That's quite nice. Try them upside down. Oh, that's quite nice because there's a V. So if I take that away, can I find one where the movement carries on? Oh, that's interesting. Just keep sort of turning them around. No, what about that one there? I'm working out if you can get any... ooh, look at that. That's interesting. Okay. And obviously, because you haven't committed with these shapes, at any point you can move something and replace it. Now, is that the actual one that would go there? No, it's not, but try that one there. That one there. Maybe. Not entirely. Oh, that is the one that goes there, isn't it? We don't want to do that. Oh, that's quite interesting because the trunk lines up, but clearly that's not where it was originally. So can we find one to go here? What about one with a bit of blank on it? That's quite... oh, I quite like that because the angle of this bit here is echoing the angle of that bit there. So I might go with that. So then I can look at that and think, am I happy with that? This is a little bit dominant. So although it looks really good, I might actually have to see if I can put something on the top of that to make it less dominant. What about if I put that upside down? So yeah, you have to excuse me, I can't place things on my piece of paper and talk at the same time. Right, now let's go for a spiky one. Oh, that's nice. Yes, I think I might go for that. Right, so then just double check. That one is obviously on a little bit of glue because it's sticking. Okay, I'm going to go for that. So stick those down. Now I'm going to stick them down really quickly so I'm not taking up too much time. Now these are the ones that when I trimmed them, they were too small. Whoopsie, that's because I was rushing. So I'm going to put these where they should be. I can't remember which one was that. It was that one, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, so you can carry on. It can be 5 by 5, 6 by 6. You could do 2 3x3s. Right. Okay, so you can see that I have some bits that I haven't managed to line up very successfully. This is where these little bits come in, because what you can do is you can peel, tear these and pop them on. Could even, if you wanted to, if you do have white areas in it, you could even just put plain white down, like so. Do I like that? I think I'm going to put it on that way instead, I think. Oopsie. So we'll get that one stuck on to fill that gap. And then I've got the other bit that I tore off, which was the other side. Do I want to put that somewhere? I might put that there. Now this is me really rushing. You take your time and really think about where you're placing everything. So I don't actually, there's a little gap there, but because it echoes what these bits look like, I don't actually mind it. So what I might just do is try and fill this one. Now, so if I can get that stuck there, that's quite nice because it matches up with that blue there. Like so. Okay, so I'm not going to go any bigger because I think you get the idea. What I am going to do though, I just let that slide off because I need my little cutting board. I'm going to trim this out so it's got a nice tidy edge before I do anything else. Now you could use two different pictures for this. It would be nice if the colours worked well together, so you could choose pictures that were analogous. You could use something complementary, you could go completely monochromatic, but you can almost guarantee if your pictures are sort of similar in the colour, then the final collage should work quite nicely. So right now I need to decide which way around this is going to go. Get my little bit of plain paper back. Not too bad. I think it might be I think it is that way, which is the way that I was working on it. Right, okay, so what you can do now is you can work with either wet or dry media on the top of this. So if you were collaging, for example, a flower picture and you had a little bit of a flower, what you could do is you could get some crayons or your pen or whatever, and you could carry on drawing it over the top. So what can I do? I'm just thinking what medium I want to work in. Actually, I've got a pencil here. It's a very soft pencil, so it should make a fairly decent mark. So I have got this line coming up here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to carry it on there, and then that line goes there. And I could actually do it here as well, couldn't I? And sort of bring it along there into that. So you could, there's this line here, I could bring that round and attach it to that, and then I could have that going into that. I could do that using my felt pen. I could use broken line and carry that on maybe over there. I could use a dotted line. I could use a solid thick line. This is going to end up looking a little bit of a mess because I'm going to be throwing everything at it. What else can I do? So there's a little sort of line here which might go. That's that pencil line that I did, but I've just sort of like joined it up. So you end up with the underlying picture underneath where the bits end, but then you also put something on over the top. Now you can, if you've got inks, you can trail inks over the top. I won't be able to work on it after this, but you can sort of get extra lines on. If you had a thick oil pastel or chalk pastel, you could bring in a really thick wide mark across the whole lot. Okay, so that is my little collage with a little bit of work over the top. Now, I actually really enjoy doing this, and I find it really addictive. And once I start, I can't stop. I hope you feel the same. So here are some examples. So one thing I did, I put 3 of these squares next to one another, and I wrote in italic writing, and then once the squares are separated and turned upside down, they look more like some sort of calligraphy. Can't even remember what it was that I wrote, but anyway, this is oil pastel with ink over the top, and you can see how the ink has resisted. These are all my own old pictures. Okay, these are. Here I've stuck on a little bit of the spiral bound bit that comes out your sketchbook, a little bit of blue gouache, a little bit of yellow ink splashed over the top. These are all pretty much, this is, they're very similar because I did a really large one. I think I did 8 by 8 and then cut it up. And that was just a little bit. Different colour palette again. Okay, little bit of warmth added to that just to make it more interesting. Like that one, I was really happy with that one when I did that one. And then I cut up some collage prints that I had, and I haven't worked into these yet, but you can see they're monochromatic and they just work quite nicely together. So I don't think I really need to work into them, but I might. Here's a little one that I did for a demo the other day, which was a pen and ink drawing that I did, and then tinted it with coffee like we did. So if you weren't happy with your pen and ink drawing with coffee, maybe you can cut it up and turn it into the next thing. Okay, so that is what I'd like you to do this week. If you start off with, if you can find a drawing or a photograph or something that is about A4, and chop that up into either 3 centimetre squares or 4 centimetre squares. Do the whole sheet so you've got lots of extra, and then maybe you can do 2 or 3 of these, especially if they are only 3 by 3. Okay, enjoy. I find it very addictive. Okay, bye-bye.